Hey guys, welcome back to AVCA. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different than I normally do, and that is talk about a digital camera. Now, I know most of you are probably here for film and film photography and film cameras because that's normally what I do, but before I lose you, and you did click on this link, so you did click on the title, so hopefully there's some interest there, but I want to talk about the Fujifilm X100T, and I want to give you 5 reasons that I think the Fujifilm X100T is still a good option in 2023, so I hope you'll stick around. Alright, I'm glad you guys are still with me. So I want to start this by saying that I do have the X100T, and I also do have the X100V. I don't know if you could see that, it's kind of dark. And so I will be selling my X100T, but I want you guys to know the only reason I am selling the X100T is because I have a baby, and the whole reason my needs for this camera were to take pictures of her, and she's starting to crawl and starting to walk, and the autofocus was just a little bit too slow for me to catch her. And I also had an opportunity to buy the X100V at a good price, so that is the only reason I'm selling this. And also, because I do have the X100V now to compare them, it's the reason that I wanted to make this video, because this camera, I believe, does not get enough attention, and I think that's because it's older and because of the megapixels, and you know, there's so many cameras that have come out since then. But I want to give you 5 reasons that I felt were really important and I needed to share with you guys before I do sell it off, because you may be waiting to get that X100V all this time, or you may not even be thinking about this because of how old it is or because of the megapixels. So yeah, let's just jump into it. So first up on the list is going to be the most important, I think, especially these days, and that is the price. Especially coming from film shooters, the price of taking a picture alone, just one picture on a frame on a roll of film, is getting really expensive. It's part of the reason that I bought this when I found out we were going to have a baby, because I knew I was going to be taking a ton of shots and I didn't want to waste film. And the way the prices have gone up, most of us have to economize each frame we're using, and that's not necessarily something you have to do with digital cameras. But also, the price of an X100T is a fraction of the price of an X100V. And I know a lot of you might be thinking, yeah, but it's a digital camera, I still want that film look, that's what I'm after. Well, bear with me, I will get to some reasons why this camera can still give you that. Next up on the list is going to be the quality of the photos this camera takes. That by far, I think, is probably the most important thing on this list. I was blown away by the quality of the photos that I was getting as soon as I started using this camera. I fully expected it to be not that great. I did not expect the photos to be as good as they are. And I'm talking about like taking family photos, portraits of my daughter, portraits of my family. I don't necessarily go out and shoot projects with it, but I'm sure it would be perfectly fine. I'm sure there's people who do that. The quality is good enough for that. And even though it's only 16 megapixels, you'd be surprised what you can get with that. And you're obviously not going to blow up huge prints, but I've gotten 8x10s. I've even got really big photos over our television taken with this camera that were blown up, and I didn't even edit them or anything. I sent them to this company and they framed them and sent them to me framed, and I was shocked that they came out that nice. So don't underestimate the quality of this camera just because of the age and the megapixels. Number 3 on the list is going to be the experience of using this camera. I believe that's pretty important too. You want the ergonomics to suit your style of shooting. You want the menu system to not be too hard to navigate, and you want it to have all the options to suit your style. And it definitely has that. It has a ton of different options and customizations that you can use. And for, as I mentioned earlier, for film shooters, it does have built-in presets, which I'm sure you already know. Just like the X100V, I think they have the same ones, the same presets. You can simulate Acros, and you can simulate Pro Via and all those films, and get that film look that everybody always talks about. But also the dials on the camera. Fuji specifically made these cameras suited for film shooters. so that you could have a shutter speed dial and an aperture ring on the lens, which is not something you normally get with a lot of digital cameras. But it's a really nice camera. It's a nice compact point and shoot style camera that also comes with an option to change the viewfinder into a rangefinder. So if you like shooting with a rangefinder, it does have a patch that you can line up to make you feel like you're using a rangefinder camera. And that leads me to number 4. This camera is compact. So this camera can fit into your coat pocket, your messenger bag, your camera bag, your purse, whatever it is you carry. It is very small, and which is great. It's not heavy like a lot of digital cameras. This camera I'm shooting on right now, the Canon R5, is a beast. It's very heavy. So if you just want to go out and shoot or take pictures of your family, take street photography, it's small and unassuming, you know, you could do it really quickly and nobody will notice it. So that brings us to the end of the list, number 5, and the final reason I believe that the Fujifilm X100T is still an option in 2023 is that it is available. It's available still. You can find it on KH, you can find it on eBay, and I'll leave links down in the description if you do decide to buy one. Hopefully you'll use my affiliate link, that'll help out the channel, but it is readily available to buy. Used, of course, and whereas the X100V is still on hold. I don't even know when it's going to become available at its normal price at regular stores. So that might be, if you're impatient like me, that might be a great reason to pick up an X100T. So there you go, that's 5 reasons that I think the Fujifilm X100T is still a great option in 2023. If you have any questions about my experience with this camera that I've had it for over 2 years now. If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask me in the comments. I always answer everybody's responses. And I just want to say one thing about the X100V now that I have been able to use both of them for a good amount of time. I know a lot of people mostly are using or buying the X100V because it does include video now, 4K video, whereas the T does not include 4K. I think it's just 1080p. The V overheats as soon as you start filming 4K, so that's something to consider if you are going to buy it for that reason. It does overheat, it gets hot very quickly. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I'm keeping it for the autofocus because the autofocus is quicker than the X100T. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that thumbs up. If you haven't yet, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. And yeah, stick around. There will be a lot more videos and things for me to share with you guys. So I hope you'll stick around and I hope you'll subscribe. So until next time, say it with me, stay motivated and keep shooting.